right. So we shall start with the peace chant. Okay. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Om, may the all-pervading Spirit protect us. May the all-pervading Spirit nourish us. May we work together with great energy. May our study be illuminating. May love and harmony dwell amongst us. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. So we are studying an Upanishad, Katha Upanishad. So far, since we are meeting after 2 weeks, we can do a quick recap. One householder, his name was Bajar Sravas, was doing a ritual, fire ritual, and his son Naciketa, who was less than 10-year-old, was not satisfied with what his father was doing. So he asked his father, whom would you like to give me to? And his father, out of inadvertently, he said that I give you to the Yama, the king of death. And Nachiketa then says, okay, all right, since you have so promised, so let me fulfill. He goes to Yama's place and waits for 3 nights for Yama to return. And when Yama returns, Yama offers him 3 boons. He can, because of his waiting for 3 nights. Nachiketa, first boon, he asked that his father may be pacified. Let his father have no tension over Nachiketa's going to Yama. Let his father have peace of mind. Second, he wanted to know about the fire which leads one to heaven. Yama also instructs Nachiketa about the fire ritual, and he becomes so happy how Nachiketa could grasp the details of the fire ritual that he said, this fire will be henceforth named after you. This will be called Naciketa Agni, Naciketa fire. In the third boon that from which actually the Upanishad starts properly, is what we studied in our last class, where Nachiketa asks the question that there is doubt about this point. After death, some people say that there is something that still remains. And whereas others say that no, death is full stop. After death, nothing exists. So let me know about, tell me what happens to a person after they die. That is the question. Now, this is a profound question. And before answering the question properly, what Yama would try to do is to check the fitness of Nachiketa to whether the boy is ready for this instruction. Basically, he is asking the most profound question of life, that whether after death, is there anything that survives or not? Such a profound question cannot be just given away like this. So Yama would try to see that whether Nachiketa is fit to receive such answer. That's why he wants to test, as we in our last class discussed briefly, that in Vedanta, traditionally they say to get the best benefit or proper benefit of Upanishads or the Vedanta, one has to have some qualities in their life. These are called fourfold disciplines, sadhana chatushtaya. That is, one must be doing these practices. Best is if someone is perfected in these practices. It is really, yes, it is frustrating for us to, or disappointing how much Vedanta demands to be a good student, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I want to spend some time on this point because it is very easy to gloss over. Very easy to gloss over. All of us want easy spirituality, where we don't have to do much, but promise will be high and it will be easily, quickly, we shall attain a lot of spiritual progress. That is a fantasy. It does not happen. It does not happen. Those who want, those who think that way, that spiritual life is easy, spiritual progress is easy, for that we don't have to do anything, they actually fool themselves. Many people, they come to me and ask, look, even after leading such a spiritual life for so many years, why we are still having this kind of problems? Even some of our hardcore followers, towards the end of their life, they develop many problems like depression and all of this. So they ask me questions like, why did it happen? The thing is simple as that. We cannot go to middle school without completing elementary school. Okay. If we think that we can go to grade fifth by bypassing 1, 2, 3, 4, because ultimately that is where we are supposed to go, then we can go to grade fifth, but we shall see that we are stumbling in every step. That is actually what happens to um, the followers of any religion when they don't do the necessary practice also. Necessary practice. These necessary practices are nothing. Mostly all of them deal with how we deal with our emotional life and our way of thinking. How we correct. How can we have clarity of thinking, and how we make our emotional life stable. If we don't take care of this and try to the advanced practices, there's no harm in that as such, but result will be not as much as we think. As much as we think. So it is not that we should not read Upanishad until we have practiced all of these disciplines to their fullest. All of these should go hand in hand, these practices as well as the study. But if we think that the practices are not needed, then we end up being more confused about spiritual life. Anyway, so that's what is Yama is trying to now determine whether Naciketa is ready, fit to have this instruction. So he would like to tempt him. First, he would try to discourage him from this pursuit of spiritual knowledge, so that through that one can understand how interested really I am in this spiritual knowledge. So in the Yama will do lot of tests. First one is to discourage Naciketa to pursue this knowledge. Okay, I remember that in our monasteries in India, at least in our order, all the monasteries, when someone comes first to become, express their wish to pursue spiritual goal mm, full, wholeheartedly, and full time, that is as a monk, they are always discouraged. The first thing they will say, no, 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 why are you going to waste your life? You have such promising career. Why are you going to do all of these things? Go back, go back. So the point is that if someone is easily discouraged in their pursuit, that means they are not really uh, want to pursue that. They are not really meant for that knowledge. So then the point is, if someone really wants to give up everything and lead a monastic life, that is a full-time spiritual life, then they will come back again, even if they are discouraged. Okay, even if they are discouraged. Same thing, Naciketa is the same thing Yama is doing to Naciketa. So mantra number 1.22, 21. Okay, 21. So after Naciketa asks the question that whether anything exists after the death of a body, so Yama answers, devaiḥ atropi vicikitsitam purā, nahi su-vijñeyam aṇuḥ eṣaḥ dharmaḥ, anyaṁ varaṁ naciketa vṛṇīṣva, ma uparotsīḥ otima sṛja enam. It means even the gods have doubted about this in ancient times. This truth is indeed subtle and not easily understood. Choose another boon, O Naciketa. Don't press me on this matter and give up this boon. Okay. Naciketa, don't go for this, ask something else. This is how he discouraged. So here, Yama is trying to test Naciketa's mumukshatva. Mumukshatva is desire for liberation or desire for spiritual knowledge. So, so he is posing obstacles, discouraging him. So he says, this soul about what you have asked, whether such a thing called soul exists after death or not. He, interestingly, if you have noticed, Yama calls soul as dharmaḥ. Dharmaḥ. He says that aṇuḥ eṣaḥ dharmaḥ. This soul is extremely subtle to be known. So dharmaḥ means anything. Dharayat iti dharmaḥ. Dharayate iti dharmaḥ. Something that holds things together is called dharmaḥ. For example, moral values or moral virtues are called dharmaḥ because these moral virtues hold the society together. If there were no moral values, no virtues, then things will fall apart. Similarly, soul is what which holds things together. Our various sense organs, our motor organs, our mind, intellect, ego, our different mental states, all are held together by soul. That's why Yama says this dharmaḥ, this soul is very difficult. So he discouraged that this knowledge about this soul is difficult. Nahi su-vijñeyam, not easily understood. Why it is not easily understood? Because it is aṇuḥ, subtle. It requires a different type of intelligence, a different type of intuition, a different type of intuitive reasoning to grasp the idea of soul. So, and he says that even the devaiḥ had doubt about this soul. So devas means not necessarily gods or omniscient beings, more about some people, beings with extraordinary powers. They were called devas. We may compare with the idea of angels. Angels. Hmm. So what um, Yama is trying to say that um, such a deep question. It's a profound question that even the angels had doubt about this. In fact, we see that in all the religions, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, there is a profound diversity in views about afterlife. Afterlife, regarding afterlife, there are different types of views. So nothing can be said, yes, this is the view. So even the devas, the angels, had doubt about it. We we read in Kena Upanishad. You remember in Kena Upanishad, even the when the devas were um, had a fight, and they won the fight with the evil forces. They were celebrating their success, that we have won, we have won. Remember in Kena Upanishad the story? And then the all-pervading reality, they wanted to teach them a lesson. Brahman came in the form of Uma, a lady who is with jewel, lot of jewels and shining bright. That Uma comes, and these devas cannot um, understand who is this being, and they were proud. They had false pride and in vain glory that it is our glory. And Brahman wanted to teach them a lesson that they could not even understand who is this. Finally, they came to their sense that it is actually the strength or the power of that spirit, that underlying reality through which the devas have actually won the war. But they should not think it is their own glory. They should not glorify their win. Similarly, here also Yama says, in the past, many angels, beings with superhuman powers, they also had doubt whether such a thing exists or not. You may compare this type of question like a question so deep or so profound that even the smartest of people, the smartest of scientists, philosophers, and spiritual teachers throughout history could not fully agree on. Okay, such a thing. So, Yama is discouraging Naciketa that what you have asked for is not easily understood because it is subtle, and subtle things require a different types of intelligence to grasp, to wrap our mind around it. Even the very powerful beings had doubt about this. So rather, don't pursue this knowledge and give up. Do not press me on this matter. Now, Puratsi, don't request me. Don't nag. Don't nag on me about this question. Ask something else. Something else about your uh, third boon. Ask something else as your third boon. Okay. Then what Naciketa does? Naciketa is shows his brilliance, his brilliance. He he actually mm, turns this same logic against Yama, that these are the very reasons why I want this third boon. The same logics that you gave to discontinue my pursue for this question whether anything exists or not, these are the same reasons for which I should pursue. Okay. He says, what does he say? Oh, devaiḥ atrapi vicikitsitam kila. Oh, Naciketa did not say, oh, it is my, okay? Devaiḥ atra api vicikitsitam kila. Tam cha mṛtyo yat na sujñeyam āttha. Vaktā cha asya tvādṛk anno na labhyaḥ. Na anyaḥ varaḥ tullaḥ etasya kaśyit. So Naciketa says, even the gods, the devas have doubted this, O death. And you yourself have said that it is not easily known. A teacher like you is not to be found elsewhere, and no other boon is equal to this one. So what he says is actually this, that he says this knowledge about life and death, life beyond death, is all the more important because, number one, even the angels had doubt about this knowledge, and therefore it is extremely rare. Since it is rare, it must be valuable, and therefore it is worth seeking. And this teaching is not easily accessible. Nahi su-vijñeyam, what he said, which means that I cannot acquire this knowledge by myself. You only said it is very subtle and cannot be understood easily. So, my independent search for this question may not yield result. And so, and here you are, a teacher like you, I cannot get anywhere. So I must utilize this opportunity. So no other boon can be actually as important as this boon. What is the boon? That whether anything exists beyond death. So all the other boons that I might ask will bring temporary results. And this one is a permanent and profound question. What happens to a person after death? I want this boon alone. So Yama's first discouragement did not work. Okay, but Yama has lot of other ways to discourage. Okay, now what he will do, he will try to tempt. In management, I think there is a policy that, if you want to get a customer, first try to persuade, then confuse. First try to convince. Okay, first try to convince the customer, then try to confuse. If the customer is not convinced, try to confuse the customer such a way that customer loses sense of what I should do, and then you say, well, I think this one you should take. Customer is thoroughly confused, and finally they say, if none of these work, corrupt the customer. Okay, it happens in big dealings. When there's a dealings of between companies and countries, first they try to convince, then confuse, finally try to corrupt. So Yama also has first simple thing. Look, these things that you are asking for, very subtle and not easily understood. Even intelligent people, powerful people did not understand it well. So better you give up this question, ask something else. But Naciketa says, no, these are the very reasons why I should ask about this. Now Yama wants to tempt Naciketa. Tempt. That rather you go for these things. Okay, take these things rather than pursue this knowledge. So he will keep on tempting Naciketa through the next few verses. He says, verse number 23, śata-āyuṣaḥ putra-pautrān vṛṇīṣva bahūn paśūn hasti-hiraṇyam-aśvān bhūmehe mahat ayatanam vṛṇīṣva Swayam cha jiva sharadaha yavat ichhasi. Choose sons and grandsons who would live 100 years. Choose many cattle, elephants, gold, and horses. Choose a vast domain on earth, and you yourself may live as many years as you wish. A lot of temptations here. So, Shato, yeah, this is the second test of Naciketa. It is earlier was test for mumukshvatva. He's testing the strength of his desire. This is the strength of his dispassion, vairagya, for material wealth and comfort. So, what are the things Yama is offering to Nachiketa? First, family prosperity. Choose sons and grandsons who live 100 years. A first thing, family. Nachiketa is not even 10-year-old, but Yama is telling that your sons and grandsons can live 100 years. You can choose that. And who everybody has their affection and for their family. So it's a dream of lineage, longevity, and posterity. And then Yama also tempts him with material wealth. Boon, pashun, hasti-hiraṇyam-aśvān. Choose many cattle, elephants, gold, and horses. So, livestock, elephants, gold, horses, all of these are material wealth and royal status. Bahu hasti. At that time, currency was this. Currency of wealth was gold or your cattle, livestock, how many. Otherwise, probably in our time, probably Yama would have ask $1 trillion, right? $1 trillion, $1 billion. But it was currency at that time was these things, gold and horses and cattle. So ask any amount of wealth, any amount of wealth. Then not only wealth, you can also have territorial wealth like kingdom. Bhumehe mahat ayatanam vṛṇīṣva. Choose a vast real estate on earth. Power, sovereignty, which all of us like, to rule over many people. So it's a dream like a king, it's a sovereign king, territorial domain, or in our terms, we would say real estate, real estate. Sometimes even money is not enough. People invest in real estate. So here, Yama is offering Naciketa a huge area of land for you to dominate, to be a king of that area. So much of real estate you can ask for. Finally, you can live as long as you wish. Because all of this offer that I have given you would not mean anything if you cannot live, right? you have all of those things, but you die. So, what is the point of having all of these things if you have a limited life? So, Yama says, try to live as many years as you wish. Temptation of longevity, as many years as you want. I remember in Washington, D.C., we have a Swami who was in Germany for 12 years. And so, all of you know Germany, Autobahn, that their system of speeding and driving. So, and they have no speed limit, so they drive very fast. And so when he was driving me around, I asked him a question, that how are you feeling driving here? he said that um, he quoted Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda said, what is hell like? What will be hell like? What is the definition of hell? So he says, Swami Vivekananda said that imagine you have been offered varieties of delicious food, gourmet food from all over the world, and instead of your mouth, you have a pinhole. That you instead of your mouth, you have a pinhole. How much you can eat? Okay, that is the definition of the hell. So he says that this is also true for me. That all the roads are there, built in the style of the autobahn, but speed limit is holding us down. Similarly, you know, uh, when Yama is offering Naciketa, all of these things, they will not mean anything if I live only 50 years or 60 years. I cannot enjoy them. So Yama is offering that take all of this. Your posterity, your sons and grandsons, they will be living for many years. Then you have all the material wealth and huge area to dominate. And also, uh, as long as you wish to live, you can live so that you can enjoy all of this. But don't ask about this question of whether whether anything exists after death. So Yama offers him full package of human desires: emotional, emotional wealth, family; material wealth, animals, gold; political wealth, land, domination; and also biological wealth called a long life. So by these all of these offers, Yama is testing the fitness of Naciketa to whether they're really interested or it is just a passing curiosity. It's a passing curiosity. Um, so he will continue to uh, tempt Naciketa. Okay, let's stop. If you have any questions so far, um, would you like to ask anything about what we have studied today?
It's not a question, Maharaj, it's comment. Anybody else would have said thank you very much and taken all of it. But
Yeah,
Naciketa is not budging at all.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yes,
So I'm pretty amazed at Naciketa because other famous figures like Buddha and Jesus Christ were offered. Mara gave the
yes,
same temptation to Buddha, and Jesus
yeah,
Christ was given the
yeah,
same temptations from Satan, offered the whole world to give up your spiritual enlightenment. And so for me, I'm just amazed to see this juxtaposition with this kid.
yeah,
He's certainly not Buddha or Christ, but it's
yeah,
the same thing of the temptations of the world and then a strong spiritual, uh, uh, you know, I can't think of the word, but determination.
determination.
And then
Yes.
one more thing, we've been studying with some Buddhists and we've been looking at yakshas and devas. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
the devas go to Buddha because they've had different karma. So
Yeah,
some of them are more enlightened than others. So they're just like with Yama saying that the devas don't understand everything. They're
yeah,
going to Buddha and asking questions.
yeah,
And also just some yakshas have been showing up in the Buddhist, and they have different levels of karmic knowledge. And
yes,
some of them, I thought they were all from Hinduism. I thought all the yakshas were like evil and mean, but some of the yakshas aren't.
yes,
So
yes,
um, the irony for me here in our situation is if Yama is saying the devas don't even know everything. He's tipping his hand
Yeah.
because he's saying there's life beyond death because these beings exist.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a little ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah,
Indeed.
yeah.
Here, devas, we have to again think about the word devas, they are not omniscient and not necessarily they are, illumined about everything. They had different levels of powers. Okay. And that made them deva, they were not necessarily a knower of everything or every type of knowledge. Hmm. So devas are sometimes translated as gods, but mostly it is these are like many powerful people, very powerful people, having not like us powerful in the world, but powerful in other worlds, but not necessarily they are all illumined people. That's why they had doubt about this whether anything exists or not after death. Okay. All right. We can go to the next. He continues to tempt Naciketa. 24. 24. एतत्तुल्लम यदि मन्नसे वरम वृणीष्व वित्तम चिरजीविकाम च महाभूमौ नचिकेताः तम एधि कामानां त्वा कामभाजम करोमि. If you consider any boon equal to this, ask for that, or ask for wealth and long life. Become ruler over a vast domain, O Naciketa. I will make you the enjoyer of all these desires. Interestingly. So he is, um, increasing the temptation, the prospect of what one can have. He is increasing. He's still trying to persuade Naciketa to abandon the question. Etatullam yadi mannase vadam. If you think any other boon which is equal, means what I have said so far, if these don't appeal to you, if I go for anything, vṛṇīṣva vittam chirojivikam, choose wealth and very, very long life. Choose wealth, whatever you want to have, ask, and mahabhumau naciketaḥ tam edhi, become a ruler over vast land. Not a recipient of wealth, but it's the king of kings, the power and dominion, and it's almost a huge empire under you. And moreover, I shall make you fit to enjoy all of these desires. Kama namta kama bhajam karomi. I shall also make sure to see that you not only have all of these, but you also can enjoy all of these. This is something to reflect upon. That's many of the things we might have, but may not be in a position to enjoy. Right? For example, we might have enough of wealth, but suddenly we develop a lifestyle disorder for which we cannot eat sugar anymore. All the sweet, delicious things are now out of our touch. Similarly, we might have lot of money, but then it might happen that my health does not permit me to travel the world. I cannot see the world and things like that. So to even be secure on this ground, Yama is saying, not only what I have offered all of these things, but I will also look into it that you are able to enjoy all of these things. Enjoy all of these things. Okay. Then Naciketa Yama says next. What else he offers next? Yeah. Yes. Now comes the the topmost offer. Ye kamaha durlabhaha mṛtyo loke sarvan kaman chandatah prarthayasva imaha ramaha sarathaha sa turyaha nahi drishaha lambhaniyah manushyahi avhihi mat pratabhihi paricharayasva naciketaḥ maranam ma aṇuḥ. What he says, all the pleasures that are difficult to obtain in the mortal world, ask for them freely as you wish. These celestial nymphs with chariots and music are not to be had by mortals. Given by me, afford their service. O Naciketa, do not inquire about death. So this is the final temptation about what Yama can give. So yes, all the pleasures that are hard to attain in this world, ask for them. And Salvan Kaman Chandata Prarthayasa, ask for them freely. That is, Chandata means in whatever way or in whatever quantity you wish, you just let me know. It is your free choice, what you want. The pleasures which are not available in the world, ask for them. So this is like the sweetest moments of Maya's offer. No rule, no cost, no delay, just desire and it will be gratified right now. And what are these things which are not available in the world? He gives a few examples. Imaha ramaha sarathaha saturyaha. These ramaha means these pleasures, or another meaning of ramaha is the celestial nymphs. Interestingly, the word Rama, the king Rama, has origin in the verb ram. Ram means to please. So Rama means one who was pleasant to others, one who pleases others. Rama's personality, his nature was such that everybody used to feel pleased around him. That is the word Rama. Even Rama, the another name of Mother Durga, means the same, one who is so pleasant, one who pleases others. Okay. So here Ramaha means all these pleasures or all these celestial names who are not available in the world. Okay. They with Saratha, they move around. These celestial names, they have vehicles. Saratha, they have their chariots. With chariots, they move about around everywhere. Such a and definitely fast moving, very fast moving vehicles they have. And saturyaha, they have musical instruments in their hands. That is, these are the celestial names who can please you by singing and dancing, and not regular singing and dancing. These are heavenly singing, heavenly dancing. It will, you cannot even imagine what is the joy in this, what is the pleasure of this. So these pleasures are sensory, aesthetic, emotional, everything that fulfills the ego and the senses. Nahi idrishaha lambhaniyaha manushyahi. Such things are not available to mortals. And so don't be a fool that I am giving you such a rare offer, and don't walk away from all of this. Avihi mat prattavihi paricharayasya. The things that I have given, I will be giving you these celestial names and other, all the joys that are not available in the world. You take them and enjoy them. Get all of those things at your service. But ma anuprakshihi maranam. But don't ask me about what happens after death. Yama is basically trying to divert Naciketa one last time. One last time. In summary, Lord Yama asked Naciketa to choose between sensual pleasures and self-knowledge. Self-knowledge, the knowledge about whether we have any fundamental reality or anything which is spirit, which cannot be seen, is very abstract. This knowledge is abstract for most of us. So that's why people, many people don't believe at all in all of the things related to spirituality, because it is very abstract thing and cannot be quantified, cannot be touched, grasped as such. So it is abstract for most of the people. So this kind of temptations would have definitely diverted most of us. And definitely this, what we are reading now in this Upanishad, all of these temptations are too dramatic. We don't ever have to go through this type of dramatic temptations, for sure. But the point of all these dramatic temptations and dramatization of the um, fact that here are the things of joy and here is self-knowledge. This is what we have to, as spiritual aspirant, we have to think about it, that what do we want? Like, am I willing to give up some of the pleasures of the world for the truth that is subtle, silent, and eternal? Because indeed, spiritual pursuit or practices presupposes, some type of sacrifices, right? Sacrifices. If I am in spiritual practice that many hours, I am away from all the pleasures of life, right? I could have gone this evening to a party, to a bar, or watch Netflix, but all of these pleasures I am forsaking right now for learning about spirituality through Katha Upanishad. These are sacrifices, So a spiritual aspirant everywhere, no spiritual aspirant who has succeeded in their life could say that I did not have to sacrifice anything. Okay. They had to sacrifice many of the material pleasures, many of the tangible joys of the world. But the point is, we want both. We don't want to sacrifice all of this, because at least we know about that these are available to me. Who knows that these talks and these studies about spirituality, whether these are just figments of mind, just abstract things, and they have no reality. So better let me have what I am sure I can enjoy. Okay. So this is the mentality of most of the people of the world, that when asked for some sacrifice for spirituality, they would not do that. They would not do that. But spiritual aspirant has to think about these subtle things, that is spiritual life, for example, is a priority for me? Is it one of the priorities? Forget about the topmost priority. Is it at least one of the top three priorities in my life? This will show, like our commitment to spiritual life. That is what the Upanishad is trying to teach. That these temptations don't have to be dramatic. We don't have to forsake good life or a comfortable life, but how much we are willing to invest in our spiritual life. That is the point it is trying to make. And no one in this world has succeeded in spiritual life without sacrificing a few things. First of all, the friends or family, they may say, why are you going there? Why are you wasting your time in spiritual pursuit? This is a common thing. Many people may try to dissuade others about spiritual life. Then there are so many tempting other things going on right now in front of your screen. Thousands of cable TVs, thousands of movies, live show, comedy, all of these. We have to, at some point, we have to say no, right? No, this is now I will dedicate for spirituality. Secondly, thirdly, more importantly, spiritual life is a total transformation of our life. It's a way of thinking change. For example, a spiritual person will be spiritual everywhere, everywhere. Uh, um, what it means is, thinking spiritually, because many of us think through pockets. Anything you ask, first question will be dollars. How much dollar it involves. That is thinking through pockets. Many people think through resources. Like if I go to spiritual this community, how many important people I can meet, what a important network can I build, or how much can it add to my social prestige? I go to that society or that spiritual place, not others. Or I am close to that spiritual guru who is so famous all world over. These are not spiritual things. Okay, these are just boosting our ego. So we have to stop thinking through our pocket, through dollars, through status, through approval, all of this. We have to think about what will be good for my spiritual progress, what will be good for my spiritual growth. That is called sacrifice. That is called sacrifice. When we start thinking through what will be ultimately beneficial for our spiritual life. And that is what is actually Upanishad is trying to tell us. That it is one thing to read all of the Upanishads and intellectually debate over all of this, but it is another thing to live the life of the Upanishads. For that, we always have to sacrifice some things. We cannot have all the things in the world. The common known proverb, you cannot have your cake and have it too. Cannot have your cake and eat it too, right? Yeah. So in the same way, some amount of uh, sacrifice we have to do if we really want. Here's the thing: if we want real spiritual progress, real. If we don't want spiritual progress, we don't have to sacrifice anything. It is just like, as Swami Vivekananda said, that there are many curious things in the world: dance, music, and acrobatics, athletes. I am interested in many things. And similarly, spirituality is just one among the things I am also interested in. So he used to say in America, in Britain, that it is not, spirituality is not just like your another curated, relic in your living room, that, something exotic you have collected from somewhere and you have placed here. Look, I am also interested into this. And that does not go much. If we really want spiritual progress, we have to give up many other things which we like and enjoy. That is the point Yama is trying to make. That is the point actually Katha Upanishad is trying to make. Nobody is going to tell us, how much of wealth you need. And if you take this wealth and forget the path of spirituality, nobody is going to give us. Nobody is going to offer us real estate. That, one big house in Manhattan I am offering right now. Another big house in San Francisco I am offering you right now. Nobody is going to do us for that. Point that has to be taken is how we think. How we think, through which mind we think, that is all about spirituality. Okay. All right. So, but Naciketa does not buy any of this. Does not buy any of this. Shankaracharya says, wonderful. Shankaracharya says, Naciketa, the young boy, stands still like a vast lake. A vast lake, wind and little bit of things of the weather does not break the stillness of a vast lake. The vast lake remains unmoved by all of this. Naciketa, in the face of all these temptations, he stands like a vast lake, does not move, and he remains fixed to his quest. What is it? What happens after death? We shall see that in our next class. And if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Or if you want to add anything, your insight, your understanding, please go ahead. Yes, unmute, please. And yes.
Maharaj, a very good exposition. I was listening with rapt attention. Now, about the sacrifice point that you just had, I was thinking through another angle. Yes, you're right on that sacrifice.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, we are in the process of evolution,
Right.
like through many births, really, And I felt internally compelled to think that in the process of evolution, as we are evolving, there comes a time when we don't have to force ourselves to sacrifice. But we are able to, that time, what will happen? Probably we have elevated to a level when that, we are able to understand, as you're saying, the house in several $1 million, a house in Manhattan or in San Francisco, what do we do? No use. Basically, we are able to distinguish between different level of joy. That means as we have this, what is it, Vishayananda,
Yes.
Bhajanananda,
Bhajanananda and Brahmananda.
So
Right.
when we are able to appreciate the
Right.
Bhajanananda or Vishayananda,
Right.
that time probably we don't have to force ourselves. So basically, what I'm trying to think, really, as for myself, I see, if I'm pushing myself very hard to sacrifice something,
Yeah.
it may not be successful. I have to complete the course.
Right.
It may take this life, next birth, or
Yeah.
but after that, really.
Yeah.
But it has to come from within, really.
Yes.
That yes, this is not for me. The house in Manhattan, San Francisco, music, dance, it doesn't appeal to me anymore, really. That time, I think the sacrifice or just looking for higher level of enjoyment. So we should be able to appreciate the higher level of enjoyment that spirituality offers, really.
Yes.
And when that taste comes, we'll not look back even for all the wealth that the world has to offer us, really.
Yes,
But
totally.
and another thing is that by coming to this kind of classes about listening from sadhus like you, listening about these expositions, reading holy books, holy company, that process probably is accelerated, really.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
hankering for higher level of joy.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You're totally right that when we get the joy of higher spiritual life, then things don't appeal so much, things of the world. But, but to get that kind of joy, we have to start somewhere. That requires some amount of sacrifice, you know. So it both of them should go hand in hand. If we say, okay, when time will come, when automatically my mind will um, seek God, then all of these things I don't have to sacrifice myself. It will automatically gone. That is true in a sense. I mean, for example, Sri Ramakrishna used to say that if you want to, if you are going towards east, west is already automatically, at your back. But that is to encourage others, But if we take this approach that let this love for spiritual practices or spiritual growth, let them come in their own pace, own standard. Why push myself hard? Okay, then we don't know when they will come. When they will come. At the initial stage, Sri
Absolutely.
Ramakrishna is saying all of this, but look at his life, how much spiritual practices he did. How much spiritual practices he did to get a taste for spiritual life. Taste for spiritual life. To get a taste for spiritual life, we need to have some practices, need to have some sacrifices. They don't come or suddenly or gradually on their own. We have to do something which is in our hand. That is what is Upanishad is trying to say, that if you really want this precious knowledge, then you have to also think about whether what you are going to do with this knowledge. How fit are you with this? Or will you just take it as an intellectual something and understand it and forget it about it? And then nothing will, it will not be an effective, it will not change your life. This is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, Maharaja, I get your
Yeah.
point. Uh,
Mm,
Again, I think you're absolutely right. And
mm.
that's what I was saying. I added also that sadhu sangha, holy company, then holy books, like that is kind of practice really.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
one,
true.
not everybody will be able to appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, true, true, true.
So basically, that's how one is to get involved gradually.
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
And slowly that person will be developing a taste.
True, true. Absolutely, absolutely. Preeti ji, you want to say something?
Pronounce Maharaj.
Yes, I went to Washington, D.C., your center.
Maharaj, I did attend the Sunday class
You
on
did?
through YouTube. Yeah, it was very nice.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you.
yes. Yeah. So Maharaj, I had a question. Looking at all the temptations and things that were offered so far by Yama, most of them, except like for I would say wanting a long life, seem to fall in the category of woman in gold that Thakur talks about, which are the two main obstacles, or
The last and gold, yeah.
yeah. So, oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So I just wanted to understand if that we could look at it that way, or yeah.
Yeah, there are different categories, variations of the last and gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wealth and pleasure. Wealth
Yes.
and enjoyment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But one thing, there is one desire in all of us which we don't recognize. We want to dominate over others. It may look very crude sound. We may
Yeah.
thinking, no, 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 I am not that kind of person. I don't want to dominate others. No, but it is in us. So that was reflected in the offer, that be the king where you can dominate. So this point, how we want to dominate others, this gets reflected. We want to spread our ideas, our ideologies to others. That is one way of controlling others. This tendency is very, very deep rooted. We if we could, if we were given free hand, we would like to dominate others. Dominates not in a bad way, but dominate means I will be controlling people. People will be behaving or doing things, talking things, reading as I would like them to be. But this desire, a very subtle desire in us, it is not the desire of wealth and lust alone. It's a very subtle desire, how we can control others by different ways. Not earlier we used to control others by force, but now we try to control others by our ideas. It is called memes. The memes, not the way we understand memes. Memes as a unit of cultural unit of reproduction. So that's why as soon as we read something or watch something, a video which we are attracted, and probably we are which probably infuriated us, which created an outrage in us, we want to immediately share with others, so that let others also be outraged about this thing. Okay. Or a particular mode of thinking, ideology, I am so much invested in, I want to also propagate that to others without even thinking whether they really want it or whether it will be beneficial to them. This is a subtle way of influencing others through ideas. So that part is in us, to dominate others, to control others, to have power over others, is very well captured by Yama when he said that not only this pleasure of wealth and all, but you will be a king, emperor of a vast kingdom, ruling over a lot of people. Yeah.
So, yeah, wow, Maharaj.
Yeah.
That's pretty eye-opening, actually. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
We have this. We try to control others different ways.
So, since it's so subtle,
Yeah.
then how do we? Because even nowadays, like
Yeah.
you share so many WhatsApp messages we get, and there are a lot of these are like especially for devotees like us, people are sharing different messages or sayings of Holy Mother or someone else.
Right.
But if this is at the root, then
Yeah.
how what you have any ideas, of course, like
Yeah.
how we can kind of check ourselves and maybe keep that in check as well? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. One thing I will say, that if you get a good message, first read it through totally. If you want to read it through, reflect upon it, and only after that, if you find that you have got some benefit from it, then only share with it others. Okay. We have a tendency, whatever we have got, we will share. So what we are doing is actually so much of waste, we are putting more waste into the now the problem in the world is not lack of information or lack of ideas. The problem is too much of ideas and too much of information. And as just like food, it takes time to digest a food, it takes time to digest information and ideas. If we are always consuming ideas, even great ideas, if you wake up in the morning and read 10 great message, actually you will not get anything out of it. Just have a satisfaction false that I have read so many good messages, but actually none of us will get benefited, because it takes time to digest even a good idea and good information. So we should not even if we find something interesting I have got, first let me get all the benefit of it. Then absolutely, if I find that I would like to share with some people, and I find that I'm really helping them out, a few people, then only we should share. This will check many of our, propensity to influence others with the thoughts I have been influenced by. For example, I am not telling I'm an ideal person, but what I am telling is I read a lot, okay, every day, but I don't share with anybody. Very rarely, extremely rarely, I think I know these people are going through this problem right now. This article might help. I share without any expectation of getting rewarded for sharing. Okay, so that we can think of, that instead of trying to influence others' thought, instead of trying to control others, we should rather try to think how can we control us. In this age, controlling ourselves has become the most important thing, because media, cable news, social media are unconsciously controlling us, unconsciously, without our knowledge. We have to be careful to control us, not controlling others.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Yeah. It might help. You also have to think about, like what else, your pattern, pattern reveals.
Yeah.
All of us have some pattern of
Yeah.
even controlling how I try to control others. Being aware of those patterns is a first step.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Subhash, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the four goals of human life that at least Hinduism has, that dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So most of us get caught in the second and third. So this is like built in, that we already have, the temptations are already given in the front. They're supposed to pursue that, ideally.
Yeah.
And moksha comes to the end, but most of the people, by the time they get to that, it's too late. Or
Yeah. Not end. This is the great mistake. If we think that we shall fulfill dharma, artha, and kama, then we'll go for moksha. No. All of these should go hand in hand. If you think I will never think of spiritual life until I have done with dharma, kama, and moksha, that fortunate day will never come. That now I am done with dharma and kama and artha, I'll now go for moksha. It will not happen that way. Because all the past samskaras of living with kama and artha will be dominant now. As Sri Ramakrishna says, one who has spent whole life in thinking about money and saving money, at the deathbed, the first thought will come to lower that light, because it is burning too much of light, too much of oil. It is burning. At the deathbed, thinking through pocket, as I told you, many of us think through pocket. So all of them should go hand in hand. That is the point. Yeah.
thank you.
But Maharaj, I see Suhat is already doing it hand in hand.
Oh yeah. Actually, all of us are doing hand in hand.
I'm
Okay.
laughing because
Suhat, you don't have to worry.
No, actually, the thing is, all of us are, doing some of these already. But the point is, the goal should not be, lowered. We should remember the goal. The goal is this. And yes, we are doing some, but the goal is much higher. That is the point.
Thank you. Wonderful.
All right. So we stop it here, saying Shanti, Shanti, Shanti together. And then see you next week when Naciketa will answer what he wants. Okay. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. All of you have a good weekend and the next week ahead. See you.